One thing I can tell you about sales is I didn't like it. I thought it was something pushy. I thought it was a dirty word, and I didn't know how I was going to even embrace it. And throughout my career, one thing I've learned is that a lot of times when you even look at the idea of sales or even leadership, you tend to lean more towards something that's a lot more masculine. So you're thinking like a man. But the people I work with, we're all women. So what were we going to do? And I remember being in a mastermind group, and one of the things that we dealt with was, how do we increase our sales? How do we own our value? How do we not back down or reduce our prices the minute we hit objections? But how do we do so in a way that felt authentic? There are lots of sales trainers out there and gurus that tell you should do it this way. And I can follow instructions. I'm a pretty linear thinker. I know that 1 and 2, then 3. But when it came to sales, none of it felt right. It didn't feel comfortable, and therefore it made it even easier for me not to do it. But at some point, you have to figure out how to make it work. So I remember I just finished a year-long mastermind. It was wonderful. I'd had such a great time. I learned so much. I'd really increased in visibility and speaking and extending my brand. And yet, with all the activity that was going on, my revenue didn't reflect it. And so as I'm having this conversation with my then coach, as we're moving to the next phase of our relationship because I wouldn't be part of this mastermind group, I made a commitment to myself that for the next year, I would focus on learning one thing and one thing only, and that was how to sell. And I had to figure out how to sell in a way that felt authentic to me and yet yielded the results that I desired to see. So I worked with a couple different coaches, and then I found one who had a really serious focus on, Nadia, let's focus on improving your sales skills. And one of the first things he talked to me about was scripts. Now you can imagine my reaction to a script. I don't want to sound like a telemarketer. I actually had a telemarketing job in high school. I lasted for about 3 days. So clearly I wasn't trying to sign up for that. But I reminded myself of my commitment that you were going to try and you're going to focus on this one skill. So I did so. And here's one thing that I learned, that as a woman, there's so many things that we can learn from men. Many times we allow our emotions to get in the way, we give up far too easy, and we just allow obstacles to stop us from moving forward because of fear. When it comes to sales, even though you're a woman, you have to learn that yes, men and women are different. We have our own flow, but thinking like a man and being very strategic in how you approach it, but selling like a woman in terms of being conversational and listening. Honestly, one of my best skills that I feel when it comes to sales is my ability to listen to people and just really allow them to share their hearts and their desires and their dreams, and then be able to make a recommendation based on what I've learned. Sales isn't a dirty word, and it's so exciting. I remember I literally went from hating sales to one day just being so elated that I was telling my husband, I love sales. And he just looked at me and he was like, who are you? Completely different. Mastering this skill has completely changed my business and my life. So embrace it. You too can learn how to think like a man and sell like a woman.